John talks on scripting content and sticking it to certain people within the Instagram Live community, trying to get back his revenge or give them basically the same energy that he feels they gave him. The same thing how Wise Guys feels within the people who are in the Instagram Live community as well. So Mike tells him to be careful due to Toxic's ways. They also add on getting prepared to start their second plan. And I'm gonna put up the clip so you guys can see. Now they get to talking about Xena and Enzo, and they talk about faking their sympathy or not really having much sympathy towards their relationship, saying that they could see through the bullshit, like they could see through what they got going on with the scripts or the back and forth that they be doing on Instagram Live when they were together. This was back then. And then John talks about how he used to care and he used to have sympathy, but after a while he felt like they were getting too hectic to the point to where he ended up having to call the cops because I guess Xena had gotten into a fight with Enzo, or maybe not Enzo, somebody within his studio. I think so. I think that would have made, because they don't really show in text and how Wise Guys posted it, he kind of chopped it up in a way to where I gotta see if I could somehow puzzle it and piece it together to where it can make sense. But I don't think they describe who in the clip they're talking about, but I could think it's Xena, because I do remember a time where, Xena was just on some crazy shit. She was just going on trying to get anybody, not like that, but she was just making them, like, she was doing the most outside, like, causing problems outside. But then again, she had her reasons too, so I mean, you can't really, they always talk about trying to keep the people within the Instagram Live community focused and how they want them to, start creating content, going live more, and actually planning out what they want to do. As in Wavy, and talks about his plans that he has for Wavy to, get lit, and for Wise Guys to, create ideas for Wavy to get views so he can, use his own brand through Wavy, basically. Now throughout the conversations, like, John, he tries to, like, see where Wise Guys or Mike's head at. He tries to see, like, if he's going to sponsor anybody. Does he have anybody in mind to sponsor? Because at the time, he was giving out sponsors and looking to expand as well. So John was adding in Toxic and Wavy, and he was wondering if Mike would be interested in sponsoring J Wavy and Toxic. And that completely throws off Mike. Like, Mike, he's like, why would I, maybe J Wavy, but why would I sponsor Toxic? And I'm going to put up the clip so you can see right now. So Mike ends up questioning John on how money even got into the conversation while talking to, Toxic about their plan. And so John, he goes and tells Wise Guys what Toxic's response was to letting her in on the plan. But John asks Mike how much money he thinks is fair to give to Toxic, because he's also not trying to overstep and be greedy and be on some, oh, give me money. So he's kind of trying to figure it out. And that's kind of the thing with John, or most of the people within the Instagram Live community that I can agree with, is that Wise Guys, he didn't really come with like a set payment plan. Like, I feel as though if Wise Guys, my voice kind of cracked, but I felt like he didn't come with a set payment plan, in the sense of, like, the screenshots that he showed of the PayPal receipts of him sending money, it was sporadic, and it was so much to the point to where it would have been impossible to really track, like, if they're really using it for what they need to use it for. So it's like, I kind of feel like Wise Guys should have came in with a set rate and then kind of bargain off from there, instead of given what he feels. Because, like, if you look at we'll get to that point, but this is later on in the video, you'll see the PayPal receipts, and it's like, it's just a bunch of like money at a sporadic, like, he should do it to where he's not spending no more than $1,000 a month, or $700 a month on one person. Like, I feel like, because no matter how much money you have, you don't want to just be giving out like $500 2 times in 1 month. Like, that's kind of absurd. Not saying that like, I'm not saying that that's bad, but there, like, Enzo was getting that and then plus some, so he was getting like $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, and mind you, this is not even just in cash too. He's paying for things like hotels and rentals and limos and this, so their weed, their chain. So I feel like after a while it kind of gets too crazy. But if Wise Guys kind of set, oh, this is my rate, and they start to complain off that, then that's how, like, again, as a businessman, you're gonna know, like, screw the color, screw if I like his personality, his mentality is not really right in terms of business, because there shouldn't be no reason why Jay Wavy or somebody, and again, I'm not sure if it was Ken, but I mess with Ken, shout out to Ken, he always showed love when I was coming up. But if, let's say, Ken and Jay Wavy's asking Wise Guys to pay for things that is not a necessity, like, a daughter's birthday, or money for kids, or money for something that's like you're supposed to handle, at that point, it's like, as a businessman, you kind of have to say, okay, I gotta revise how I'm coming, because I don't want them to feel like I'm just the bank. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, because now it's like, they're gonna be like, okay, well, it's this sponsor's giving me this much a month. All right, let me prove to this sponsor, because it's kind of like, it's not a loan, but it's a loan, because it's not a loan because you don't have to pay them back, but it's a loan in the sense that you're doing business with them, and it's for long term, so you don't want to kind of mess up that relationship. You want the sponsor to know that, hey, I'm giving this person money, and I truly feel like I'm getting my money's worth based off of the views, based off of how he's communicating with me, based off of the not how much he's even saving off of the sponsorship money, but how he's using it. Is he just going and spending it on clothes, or is he using it to try and build his credit? Is he using it to try and buy equipment? Is he using it to say, hey, I have ideas for merch, let me show you a little pictures. I use your logo and I put it on a shirt. What you think about it? You think with some of the sponsorship money that you gave me, you think I should go and print out a couple t-shirts, or print out a couple hoodies on some mock shit, just to see how you would like it, and see if it gains some kind of traction or whatever, and I can shout it out. Okay, cool, boom, and you see I get that done, and I'm not taking 2.5 months. I could do it in a week and a half, 2 weeks. That's how you know. Then the sponsor's gonna be like, okay. But when you got the people that he was sponsoring, and you're going off of, I like the person, or I think they're funny, but you're not going off of, hey, business wise and internet wise, is he smart doing this, or does he just want to go live and want everybody else to do the work while not giving them the credit? So I could kind of get John. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because Mike was also saying how John was asking him for money, but I didn't really see the PayPal receipts with John in it. So maybe if Wise Guys do see this video, or if I hit him up, because I do have a conversation with him that I'm going to add in, so you can see his response and my response, and just, I could probably get things in order. But that's going to be the goal. I'm going to try and see if I can get it, because the PayPal receipts, it didn't really show John getting money. But then again, I don't know if he did buy him something and he just shipped it to his house, or I don't know what the case might be for that. So when coming to John asking for sponsorship money, or where he stands, I wouldn't look at it as like him begging, because as a sponsor, you're coming in on business to dish out money in return to gain views, or in return to build just eyes for your brand. So if, let's say, you want to start a podcast, or like how he had the social club that he wanted to start with Enzo, or if he decided he wanted to start his son, I know his son was into music. If his son wanted to start making music, he could actually have the views already, or that marketing already, to where when his son comes out, he could just have views, and then the son himself can work to where he can already work from the views that's being, trafficked his way by the sponsorship payments that you're getting through the, what I'm trying to say? It's like, you got to understand. So, I don't go too hard on that. So now John and Mike, they get to talking about Jay Wavy, and they get to clowning him. They get to speaking on his music and how his music is bad. And Mike says how, he doesn't know, like, he knows about music, but not too much of this generation music, but he knows that Jay Wavy's music is not it. And, that kind of was funny. But if I'm being honest, there was one song that I was playing by Jay Wavy, and I'll be honest, it was, I forgot the song, but I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna put it up right now so you can see. I'm gonna edit it in right now so you can see. But even in the old Pluggy Plugger channel, if you watching this from Pluggy Plugger, I did reactions to their music, trying to put my face on the thing, but that wasn't really getting as much views, but I was still doing it anyway. So I could say in general, yeah, Jay Wavy's music is trash, but he did have one, or I think two songs, but one song that I know for sure that, like, I definitely was playing, and it was a good song. But it's just the reason why Jay Wavy's music be bad, especially for me, is just like, he don't know what he want to be. Like, 1 minute he wanted, like, if you see how he just, like, I don't know, like, just some of the people in that Instagram live community, the way they act is not, like, for me. Like, how Jitman is funny, but his brain don't really function properly. Enzo, Jay Wavy, like, most of these people, they're not really. But before they started doing a bunch of the funny, a bunch of the quote unquote weird shit, and they were just going live. It's regular on Instagram. They was funny and it was cool, and they're still funny to this day. But I don't really, be too deep in as before, when they were more on Instagram and it was more. It was just different. Like, it wasn't, they're not doing the weird clout chasing behavior that they're doing now. And Jay Wavy is like, the way he look and like how he act is like, he want to be a thug, vamp, Tumblr, TikTok king, sad man. Like, he wants to be so much people at once. And then it's like how he be moving his face and his body. It's just like, Enzo and all these people was like, I don't know, but it doesn't take away from them being funny or entertaining when they get on Instagram Live and they decide to get on and, make it lit like how they used to be. But they got to play it smart, and hopefully by me doing these videos, I could probably say a little 1-2, and they could probably catch on and stop being, and get to where they need to do, because I'm trying to help out. But then again, I don't know, because I don't really be doing everything. But now they also speak on Brick Boy, and they speak on how he can rap, but they talk about like how he does the growl rap, which is true, because I remember back then Brick Boy, like, he was doing this like weird zombie, like, so I think Mike or John was saying if he rapped in his regular voice, which I agreed, he'd probably be much better. But then again, you gotta understand, like, the people that they kind of that they have interest for, those people themselves don't have interest or that self-drive or that work ethic to themselves to want to get, like, they don't have that hunger, because they come from good, decent upbringing. So there's no real urgency that's telling them like, yo, you gotta make content, or you gotta go to work, or you gotta get money, or you gotta do this. Like, there's no, so for them, it's like, if they know they could go home, play games, get food, get their little drugs here and there, and still go and do a little feature and go on Instagram Live for a little bit, get some money, get some clout, and drop music and get a little bit of money, they're good with that. So it's like, if they gotta be interested in people who also have that interest in themselves, to where them having the interest in themselves will also help you out in the long run. So it's like John and Jitman. Like, Jitman don't really have interest for himself, because he's more interested in taking drugs, like hard drugs, and going to jail. So it's like, he want to be known as Baby Truck. So it's like, and then John will be like, yeah, but from his upbringing and all that, but we all been through stuff too. So it's like, at some point you gotta kind of shift and decide for yourself that you want to elevate, and you want to start going to the gym and start uploading content, or start getting more money, or start spending so much money on drugs, or you gotta make that conscious decision to want to do it. You can't just keep acting out, and then then you're bringing people around you a little, like, down a little bit, because they're giving all of their energy into you, because they empathize with you and your story, and they know how good of a person you are aside from the bullshit. But it's kind of taken away from them in the terms of a business standpoint, when they can go out and actually try and look for somebody who is like, okay, let me go and see what this man's about, let me see if he could make content. Let me see if he got any ideas on that. Let me see if he can rap. Let me see if he could do this. Let me see if he can edit. Let me see, you know what I'm trying to say? Like so now it kind of slows down the process because you're getting comfortable within the emotion of the relationship. They just speak on Brick Boy not being motivated, and Mike wants to sponsor Brick Boy, but for him to sponsor Brick Boy, he knows that he's not going to be motivated, so he wants to see him motivated first before he makes that decision. So if he can motivate Brick Boy, which I'll put up the clips. Like for one example, John talks about a time or a period where Jitman basically raged or blacked on him for basically telling Jitman, yo, you know, you gotta stop, like, I think it was threatening or scamming fans, you gotta stop doing that. And then Jitman got mad and started throwing accountability at other people and saying how it's not him. And I do remember that time because I was Pluggy Plugger was posted up on YouTube during that time. I was posting during that era. And I remember Jitman was going live, and, you know, he was calling John a pussy. I don't even want to say the word, but Raka, like with the C in front of it though. Like he said he was a pussy Raka. He was calling him John don't love me. He's not my manager. He was never been there for me. You know, John turned his back on me. Yo, no, I definitely remember that. I really remember that. So, and that's what I mean during like the emotion aspect of it. Like John's like, man, I can't turn my back on this kid because look at him. Like you could tell that the fact that he's acting this way is proof in itself that he's not really mentally there. So I don't want to like leave him because he does have potential, because we worked before and he has gotten views, but I kind of know deep down that's kind of finished for him because his mind is just warped from drugs and he just want to be focused on drill and being baby truck. So it's like you're still there, but it's holding you back. Now they're at the point to where John and Mike are talking about finalizing their plans, and they want to know where Vazzy, they want to know where Vazzy fits into the equation, how they could put Vazzy into the plan to take down Kodiak Red and Fly Soldier. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is where it gets kind of diabolical, because they talk on their plan and like what they want to do for Red to like embarrass him and get back at him for being a clown on the internet, which he was a clown on the internet. Everybody knows this. Like, you know, they're just not people that you want to be. But no kid looks up to the Island Boy and say, I want to be an Island Boy when I grow up. I'm sorry, that shit's just out. So they basically talk about how they want to get, I don't even want to say the word, and I'm gonna just put up the clips. I don't even want to say it. It's a really crazy plan. They talk about how they want to get a Transformer basically end the act with Red in a room while recording and bring their mom, the Island Boy's mom, out to the house so that they can see it. But I'll put up the clip so you can read it. It's a crazy plan though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you want to get back out your ops, you know, it's a wild plan if you could pull it off. But as for me, I wouldn't do that to none of my ops. Like, it's just not worth it, to be honest. But from where they're coming from in the standpoint of like content over everything, then yeah, you know, that's good content. But for me, it's a little watered down, my boy. And John basically asks Mike if they should add more to the plan. What else should they think about to add more to the plan? And they kind of want to see how they can add Kent Street into the fold and see if he can, I don't know, play a position. So John speaks on his hatred for the Island Boys starting when they came for Jitman. And Mike, he agrees with John. He agrees on not liking the, he agrees on also having hate for the Island Boys. So he says that he tries to use his money to get them to turn on each other, which makes sense because the Island Boys, they do things for money. They both get to talking about Vazzy for a little bit, and they ask what they both think of him, and they both agree on not really liking him. So I don't think they're gonna add him in. I don't think they added him into the plan if the plan was to have happened, but I don't think it happened because they ended up falling out. And what's also crazy too is that they added Toxic into the fold, you know, into the plan, but their whole plan for Toxic was to basically crash out, to like mess up her family, I guess, with Fly Soldier and the baby, so they don't get back together. They plan to meet up with her and also get her to somehow try and get the Island Boy's mom to be with her, basically. And when that all is finished, they're gonna do like a little music rollout. They were supposed to do a music rollout with Mike's son, or Wise Guys' son, you know, start his music video, start his music career. And I'm gonna put up the